In 2017, Saudi Arabia promised to build the future. A single city, 106 miles long, two mirrored walls, each taller than the Empire State Building, cutting a perfectly straight line across the desert. No cars, no streets, no carbon. 9 million people stacked between panes of glass. The price tag? $500 billion. They called it the Line, humanity's greatest leap since the pyramids. But there's a reason you've never seen a photograph of it finished. Because 9 years and $50 billion later, almost nothing stands in that desert. The towers were never built, the trains don't exist, and in 2025, the construction simply stopped. This isn't a story about a city. It's the story of the moment raw ambition collided with physics, and physics won. Forget everything you know about how cities grow. Cities sprawl outward in circles. The Line was designed to grow in one dimension, a single straight stroke, 200 meters wide, 500 meters tall, 170 kilometers long. Inside, everything stacked vertically. Schools above shops, homes above parks, all sealed behind a continuous skin of mirrored glass. The promise was radical. Walk to anything you need in 5 minutes, or ride a high-speed rail buried beneath the city that crossed all 106 miles in just 20 minutes. But there was a catch hidden in that train. To hit those speeds with 0 stops, the physics barely hold together. And the version that actually serves residents, stopping along the way, gets nowhere near 20 minutes. Still, the diggers moved in. Crews carved trenches into the desert, drove thousands of concrete piles, excavated 1 million cubic meters of earth every single week. From the air, it looked like a wound in the planet, and that wound exposed the first problem no amount of money can fix: the ground itself. Here's something the glossy renders never showed you. The Earth is round, and over 170 kilometers, that curve is not a rounding error. It's a monster. Lay a perfectly straight, rigid structure across that span, and the planet falls away beneath it by nearly 600 meters. That's taller than the building itself. So engineers face an impossible choice. Build it dead straight, and one end claws into the sky while the other buries itself in bedrock. Or build it along the curve, and now your two parallel mirrored walls aren't parallel at all. Each one points toward the Earth's core, so they slowly fan apart as they rise. Perfect alignment becomes a geometric fantasy. And then comes the killer: heat. Steel and concrete expand as they warm. In a desert that swings 40 degrees between night and day, a 170-kilometer structure would grow and shrink by more than 80 meters. 80 meters. Normally, you absorb that with expansion joints, slicing the structure into independent segments. But a seamless, continuous mirrored wall fights that solution at every seam. Lock it rigid, and the desert tears it apart. The Line wasn't just expensive to build. At this scale, the materials themselves refuse to cooperate. Now wrap all of that in mirrors and aim it at the sun. Reflective glass doesn't just shine, it redirects energy. We've watched it happen. In London, a curved glass skyscraper focused sunlight hot enough to melt parts of a parked car. In Las Vegas, a hotel's reflective facade scorched guests by the pool. They nicknamed it the Death Ray. Now scale that up to a mirrored surface 500 meters tall and 106 miles long, baking in one of the hottest places on Earth. You don't just get glare, you get a colossal reflector pumping heat back into an already brutal environment, and a wall of glass that turns the sky itself into a mirror. To a migrating bird, that reflection reads as open air, and the Line sits directly across one of the planet's busiest migration corridors, the bottleneck between 3 continents. Then there's the wind. A solid barrier half a kilometer high and over 100 miles long doesn't let the desert breathe. It blocks natural airflow, spins turbulence and vortices off its roof, and funnels wind into violent jets wherever there's a gap. On the ground, it severs every animal migration route it crosses. The Line wasn't designed to work with nature, it was designed to stand directly in its way. And then, the bill came due. The original $500 billion was already staggering, but a leaked internal audit revealed the real figure to finish the full vision: $8.8 trillion. That's more than 25 times Saudi Arabia's entire annual budget, over 4 times its whole economy. Producing the concrete for just the first segment would have rivaled the yearly cement output of a country the size of France. So reality set in. The 106-mile dream for 2030 was quietly slashed to 1.5 miles. 9 million residents became fewer than 300,000. The finish line slid from 2030 toward 2080. And by 2025, after $50 billion spent, crews had completed barely 1.5 per.